The following show is dedicated to Mia Park and Barbara Yang. The views expressed on the following show may not be those of the hosts, guests, or WSPN Skidmore Radio. Talk Saratoga is produced by Saratoga Broadcasting Incorporated and may not be reproduced in part or in whole unless expressed written approval is given. Now, here are the hosts of Talk Saratoga, Rick Thompson and a Saratoga All-Star.
Good morning and welcome to Talk Saratoga, and I'm your host Rick Thompson. You're listening to WSPN 91.1 FM Skidmore Radio, and we got a great day today, December the 6th already, 19 days to Christmas, and it's flying by. We're getting January and February weather here with snow and freezing temperatures, but hey, that's what it is in the Northeast, so hope you're nice and warm, snuggling with a cup of coffee. Got a great guest this morning, Albany Liberatorer, who is a reporter for the Times Union. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Wendy.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I've called you Amy, and I've got Wendy. I mean, I know
my name's
you.
Wendy.
I know you as well as anybody, and I don't know why I call. There's something.
I don't know.
Since the first time you were on, I've called you Amy.
Oh, that's okay, Rick.
It's a mental thing, and I'm mental.
I must remind you of an Amy.
You've got to, and she was a nice person too. So I don't understand that. And I'm sorry, Wendy.
That's okay, Rick. It's early. It's Saturday.
It's early, and I'm telling you, I got to sleep an extra hour this morning because I get up at 4:00 during the week, and
I don't know how you do it.
It's okay. I'm kind of used to it, except I goof up names. Well, we got a good show. We got a lot of topics to talk about, and some you're going to bring up, and some that you gave me. One of the things that's near and dear to my heart, I had probably wrote you a paragraph about that, is that how this form of government does things. And we'll tie in a couple things here. That's why you're going to bring up some topips. Our taxes went up, as you know, with the budget.
Significantly.
Right, 4.57 percent. And first of all, I don't buy the reasoning. I know things go up. I know insurance has gone up, and everything. You know, I think public safety's budget is like 2/3 of the budget, something like
huge.
that.
It's huge.
But even so, my feeling, as you know, being involved in charter change for years and kind of looking at the inside of how this government works and talking with politicians, once they get in, they can't figure out how it operates. And it really shows, because we should have never got to a 4.5 tax increase with so many years of not having a tax increase.
Right.
Mismanagement by elected officials who have no clue what they're doing because they're not specialists in that area. But one of the glaring things for me is that ever since our Woodlawn parking garage has been built, they took the parking lot, and 2/3 of it's a parking garage. So the entrance to that parking lot is so narrow that you can't get two cars side by side. And if you're trying to take a left off of Church and you get 4 cars backed up, you're out into Church Street, which is a traffic hazard. And I'm surprised they haven't had a real bad accident. They've had accidents, but a real bad. Well, Matt Veach, who was our county supervisor for 16 years, and I always thought
he still is for until the end of the month.
Yes. Matt, I was a very good supervisor.
Yes.
He did a lot for Saratoga.
Yes, he did.
I was busting on him for years about why can't the county do something. He sits at the table, council table for every meeting. So a couple of years ago he came and he said, "Hey Rick, I've got good news for you." And I said, "What's that?" He said, "I got a $50,000 grant from the county to the city just for the opening of that. Can't be used for anything else." Well, 2 years later, it hasn't been done. And he was on after Election Day, and he told me that the county is going to take the money back because the city's not using it.
Right.
So why do we have a 4.5% tax increase when we don't even use free money?
I know. There's a lot of problems between the county and the city. They don't communicate well. For one thing, the county is not particularly fond of Saratoga Springs because it used to be, it still is, majority Democrat as far as voters
city,
go.
yeah.
Right. And the city council for years was as well. But, yeah, so there has always been a tough relationship, but Matt Veach was able to bridge the gap, get the money, it goes to the city, and then I don't know what happens. DPW should have been on that.
Well, you know, the funny thing is that when we got the money, I called up the, I don't know who handles it. It wasn't the deputy. I talked to the deputy commissioner and the person that handles the bookings and that for what the...
Yeah.
They told me it was on the schedule 2 years ago. So with the constant change of...
DPW commissioners.
Any commissioner, the mayor, every
Right.
2 years you vote. I mean, very few mayors have been in more than 2 years. I mean, there's
Right.
Scott Johnson and Meg Kelly was, but you know, they don't. they're limited on what they can do in this form of government.
Right. Oh, yeah, the mayor really doesn't have a lot of say
No.
in any of the projects. You know, because he or she is just holding up the rec department and the planning department,
Right.
which should be helping the DPW. There's not a lot of overlap. It's a terrible problem that the
Right.
city has.
Well, I'm
Terrible.
really ticked off about this, and it may be minuscule in the scheme of things, but I think it's a glaring example of how this government and its officials don't work.
Right.
They can't work together because they can't go into any of each other's department,
Right.
and it's just unreal. And I talked to John last year about it, and he was supposed to do
John
something.
Safford,
John
or-
Safford, our
Yeah.
mayor, who's a nice guy. I like John.
Right. Yes, he
And
is.
he said he'd do something about it. And then he was riding with the Commissioner of Public Works. No, actually Public Safety. I don't know, it may have been Public Works. I don't know. He called me on the phone and he said, we can't figure out what to do with that $50,000. I said, what are you talking about, John? He says, well, we're looking at the parking garage and you want that wider? He said, we have to tear down beams and concrete. And I said, John, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's just the entrance.
It's the entrance.
From Woodlawn.
Right,
Yeah.
from Woodlawn. I said, all you have to do, I said, I'm not an engineer or anything. I said, but all you have to do is take that tree down, one parking spot, and you'll have a wide enough opening.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it hasn't gone anywhere from there, and the county's going to end up taking the money back.
That's just outrageous. Yeah, I don't think they end up arguing constantly because of this type of thing. I mean, everybody's doing their own, own little silo of power, and they want the money, so the county gives it to them, and then they can't seem to get it together.
No.
And, it's a huge problem for the city, and things aren't going to... For a city like this, with all of its amenities, tourism, businesses, I mean, it's really a jewel, and it's amazing that it continues to thrive despite the form of
honestly,
government.
I think it's because of we've become a tourist city now.
Right.
I don't think if we had the tourism, if the city was like it was when I moved up here in the early 80s, it just started to get really pretty in that. And it wasn't a tourist city. I mean, we got a lot of business. I don't think it would survive. I don't think it would have survived this long.
You look at Mechanicville, they're the only ones in the state with the same form of government.
I know.
And they're not thriving.
No.
And so really Saratoga is thriving despite its form of government.
Oh,
that
yeah.
You just can't get over the
know.
walls between each department.
I know. And you can't get over why the city is thriving. I mean, we have great business space, and we have great income in the bed tax. I know a lot of it goes to the county, but we still make money off of that. And our sales tax, we keep that. We got out of the county formula, and so we keep that, which is good. And we always had a huge budget surplus, always. And so that's peed away every year, $6-9 million. And even if you had a 0.5% tax increase every year, it wouldn't be as bad as a 4.5.
Right. I probably all those years that we weren't raising taxes, the Commissioner of Finance, which was Michelle Madigan all those years, probably should have raised taxes.
Of course.
In a very small incremental way, instead of using the fund balance, which she did year after year after year. And people were thrilled, oh, no tax increase. But boy, when it catches up to you, it's not good.
No, because you're going to have to cut services back somewhere. I mean, a 4.5 isn't going to be a cure-all for the city. I just look at this and I'm amazed. Now, I know our mayor has appointed a commission to study the form of government, and who knows they've met for over a year and nothing's come through yet, and I don't watch the meetings. But we've got people on that commission. The last time they were in office was about 30 years ago. So they have no clue how business has changed over that time.
And Vince DeLeonardis is, again, the chair, who was the chair of the last commission, which didn't even really change the form of government. It just tweaked the charter, add a couple words here, take this out, move this. It was just the tweaking. It wasn't changing the charter.
No, it
to
wasn't
a
making it
form
better.
Right, but it's still the same form of government that is just a disaster.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't see any difference than it's been, they may have tweaked a word or two here, but it hasn't changed the format.
No, and that's why people rejected that plan when, I guess it was Meg Kelly was mayor at that point. And, the city wants to spend $25 million for a new police station. Where are they going to get the money for that? They're going to have to borrow it.
Yeah.
And then I just see the city going into a big financial hole.
Well, I've always said that it takes a long time to climb a mountain, but it doesn't take long to come down.
That is true.
And I'm looking at Saratoga, how it built back up from the 60s and 70s. And we're at the top now, and it doesn't take long to fall down. And if they keep going on like they are, we're going to be in trouble. Maybe not in my lifetime, but we're going to be in trouble. The city's going to be in trouble. I mean... Well,
and, they were taking away money from the senior center.
I know.
The homeless shelter, which is definitely going to close by October next year. So I don't know.
It is?
Yes. So, so now it'll really fall on the county. The county has never been that friendly to Saratoga. Matt Veach sort of kept it that way, kept it slightly friendly. But now that there's going to be 2 Democrats sitting in the seat at the county, I think it depends on who they name as the Board of Supervisors chair, but...
I think Matt was indicating it's going to be the same one.
Phil Barrett?
Yeah.
Oh, Phil Barrett hates Saratoga Springs.
Yeah, I know. Well, Clifton Park is our biggest competitor and stuff.
And also, Clifton Park just turned Democrat, and Phil will want to have some control over... And if he keeps control of the county, since he lost it in his town,
right?
But it's there's a lot of. It's interesting because there's a lot of turning towards Democrats now because there's so much hatred, for Donald Trump, even among Republicans.
Yeah.
And Saratoga Springs won basically.
Yeah.
That was, all these little towns sort of turned to the Democrats, but Saratoga Springs stayed mainly Republican
Right.
in the last election.
Yeah, and because I think John brought a calming effect on the council,
Right.
where it had been so much in turmoil for the
Right.
last bunch of years.
And the candidate. I mean, Michelle
Right.
Madigan has a lot of issues.
Yeah, I don't think she could run for anything anymore.
No,
I really don't. With
her time came and went.
Yeah, and I think she'd be pulling anybody that supported her, any party or whatever, down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just irritates me to see a form. And I was always for a city manager because I felt if you had a professional, I mean,
Right.
the deputies do a great job in running a department, and
Right.
they're limited by what they can do as far as getting across departments. They would make fantastic department heads because they could stay in office, because every time a commissioner gets voted out and you get a new commissioner, you get a new deputy to run the office, so the
Right.
staff has to get used to how to run again,
Yes,
work in
exactly.
the office. And
Right.
it just doesn't seem right. And
No,
I'm
the political
really-
appointees are running things, and it should be left to the civil servants who know what they're doing,
Right.
who have been there for years. So every time there's election, they're thrown into turmoil.
Right, and their
Unless,
jobs.
the incumbent wins, and then they're like, okay, I sort of know what's coming. But if
Right.
it's somebody new, a new mayor, a new commissioner, the whole city hall is going to be thrown into chaos.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
there's a learning curve of at least 6-7 months,
yeah.
and then you operate another 6 or 5 months, and then you're running for re-election again in that second year. And it's
Yeah.
just not, I don't know how this city kept this form of government for years. We
I
had
don't
such
either.
we had such a strong chamber when Joel Dalton was here.
Yes.
He and Tommy McTighe, even though I didn't agree with Tommy McTighe a lot,
Yes.
they really did an awful lot with the businesses to get Saratoga back up in the 80s. And I think a lot of that credit was given to City Hall, the form of government, when it really wasn't. I mean, and I think that's why,
No.
with the inefficiency of this government, it just stayed in. I mean, I don't know if there's only a handful of this form left in the country. I mean, even
Right.
Portland, Oregon, who it was the largest city that had this form, went to a mayor council.
Yes.
And I don't know, it's just, it amazes me. I mean, as a Saratoga resident, I'm upset the taxes are going up so much.
Yeah.
And as a person who knows a little bit about what goes on, I'm upset because they're not using free money, and it has to go back to whoever gave it to us.
Right.
And I don't know.
Well, and also, if they had a strong mayor or a city manager, they would have, Saratogians would have better representation.
Oh,
Anybody
definitely.
could run. You could run.
Right.
Now people say, oh, Commissioner of Finance, I have to know how to do budgets. Oh, DPD Commissioner, DPW, I have to know how to pave roads.
Yeah.
It's now, if they switch that, anybody could run, and
For
it could
as
really,
a legislator,
right,
and
they-
then you
right.
and then you would
The
have
executive
department
stuff
heads.
could just be the city manager taking care of the
Right.
potholes, the garbage pickup,
right, or the mayor
collecting
oversees.
water fees.
Yeah, or the mayor oversees the departments, lets the department heads run the departments, but you'd have one person that could say, hey, look, you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
We got to get this stuff done,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
because
keep-
there's no continuity now. It's
No.
just everything's always thrown into chaos.
Yeah.
Every 2 years.
See, I keep bringing this up when we talk politics and that, but my father was a councilman in the city I grew up in, and they had wards. He was a council member, an alderman, they called it, and my mother was a secretary to the city engineer. Now, under the city engineer, you had public works and the building inspector and the electric inspector and plumbing inspector. So, I mean, that department was responsible for that stuff. And if the mayor had a problem, he would go to the city engineer and he'd say, hey, look, I mean, come on, we're
Right.
doing something wrong here.
Right.
I mean, look how long it takes to get a building permit in Saratoga.
I know.
Now, I know John's trying to computerize with the program to make it simpler, But my goodness gracious.
No, it's still a nightmare unless you are connected, and then you can sail through. It's kind of sad the way.
It is. People look at Saratoga and say, "Oh my gosh, what?"
Oh, you're so lucky to live there.
Yeah, you're so lucky to live here, and everything is so nice,
Yes.
and and it is. But on the other hand,
The
we're
government
having to
is
pay
kind of a
for
mess.
it. Yeah, and we're getting to be a city of part-time residents. We have people
Yes.
moving in that are buying these $800,000-$900,000 condos or $1 million homes, and they go to Florida for 6 months. So
Right.
they're not here.
Right.
And so I think it's all going to catch up with us at
Yeah.
some point.
I mean, the problem with all these high-priced homes, I mean, they're beautiful, but it leaves a lot of people out of the mix as far as
yeah.
moving in, and thus the homeless issue that we have.
Yeah.
And the county really has to step up this year. I don't know if they will. If Phil Barrett really is going to be the chair, I'm not. He doesn't
I know.
enjoy doing anything for Saratoga.
No. But, we have a supervisor on that is not afraid to speak her mind in Sarah Berger.
Oh yes.
And Sarah's not afraid to
Right.
say anything.
Right.
I'm not happy with the other supervisor that we elected, but because I felt that she was part of the problem of the city's finances. But I'm happy Sarah got in because I think she's going to be good for the city.
Well, she's from Saratoga originally.
right.
And she grew up here. The thing about Manita, though, she was always pretty fiscally conservative.
Yeah.
And I think, people just wanted things to continue like they did with Michelle Madigan. Just use the fund balance. Why aren't you spending that money? And Manita wouldn't, and that was, part of the problem,
Okay.
too. And I don't know what Joanne Kiernan's going to do now as the Commissioner of Finance, if she's going to be, again, spending all the money in the fund balance.
Well, I heard she's a pretty
I thought she was pretty
fiscal
conservative, too.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
I mean, she runs businesses. I think she knows how to
Right.
manage money. And she does have a little padding behind her that she was deputy mayor.
Right. So she
So she could
understands how
see
that department runs.
That, and she can probably see how City Hall is
Yeah.
mismanaged, because even though you can't do anything, you can tell that another department's not doing what they're supposed to do,
Right.
or have an idea
Yeah.
what's going on. Yeah,
But-
it's
But I think Manita was, unfairly demonized, only because she didn't want to do the usual, which was spend the fund balance.
and that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
But I don't know how she'll do in the county, but
You're handicapped in the county because you have so many supervisors from the towns and that. And
Yes.
if you're in the minority, you really have a tough time.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, we're getting more and more Democrats on the board, where before it was only one or two.
Yes.
I mean, and
right, somebody from Saratoga and maybe from another random town.
right.
But
So,
part of their dislike for the county's dislike for Saratoga was shown when they wanted to change the times for the bar closing.
yeah,
They're like, why should we do that for Saratoga Springs?
right.
We don't have that problem.
And that's how we make our money, is after hours like
right,
that.
right.
you know?
So I don't know if Sarah, or Manita can sort of bring the county along to look at what Saratoga needs and say, Saratoga supports the entire county with its tourism, and hopefully they'll be more open to helping the city thrive.
Well, see, I mean, my outlook is I don't understand the state not allowing cities that have a huge problem like Saratoga. I mean, a lot of our law enforcement, we waste a lot of time downtown on
Yes,
nights.
tons of overtime.
Right, because of the drinking problems.
Yes.
And I don't know why the state can't see that and say, all right, we're granting Saratoga, if the council voted for it, we're granting Saratoga that we're going to close the bars at 2:00. And, my grandfather had a saying, and he was an old Italian, and I remember when I worked at I got a job when I was 15 at the Holiday Inn as a busboy. And he always told me about people. He never liked that. He thought everybody worked in a restaurant were floozies and they'd go out drinking at night. And he said, if you can't go out at night and have fun until midnight, he says, the only people out after midnight are people looking for trouble.
Yeah.
He says, 4:00 in the morning for people to be out drinking. It's
exactly.
I don't know.
Well, look at the shootout in 2022 we had on the. That was like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's sad that was. No one's ever been held responsible for that either.
I know it.
It's just incredible.
Well, we don't need to be open till 4, and I'm surprised that the state. That you can't petition the state and say, look, we're spending all this money, and the city is having to raise taxes because that's the largest department that we spend the money in. Can't you just parcel us out of the county?
Well, yes, and they need to do that. Because the county's not going to budge again.
Oh no, they won't.
They don't want to help Saratoga. They're like, you got everything already. Why should we help you? And you have mostly Democrats. Why should we help you? It's just, and Phil Barrett is definitely in that.
Yeah, he is.
Vein
He's in that
thinking.
bubble.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yes.
How do you think the city's going to change with the new council? Do you have any opinion? You're at the council meetings.
Right.
And,
I'm not sure. I think, maybe there'll be less infighting. Dylan Moran's not going to be there anymore. And Dylan, started a lot of fights and even when it was all Democrats.
I know.
So it might be a little bit quieter, but, and I'm hoping that BK gets support. BK Cremati, he'll be the only Democrat. Tim Cole is a Democrat, so maybe he'll become...
But he was cross-endorsed.
Oh, yeah.
And
he always sort of voted with John on the big stuff.
On the big stuff. God, Tim knows his law enforcement.
Yes, he
He
does.
was with the FBI. He knows how to... It's not a novice in there that's trying to do something. So as far as that goes. But, you got 4 other departments that you don't have any control over. And but I think he's done a good job.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what happens when the Attorney General finally decides what she's going to do with the police department. And there's probably going to be lawsuits coming down on arresting homeless people, and that's another big problem. That's another thing that Tim Cole started, and maybe the businesses downtown like it, but it's not a good, humane policy for the city.
No, it isn't. But, I was talking with a fellow the other day who's from out of town, and he says, why can't Saratoga do something with panhandlers? There's one on every corner. Yes. And he said, you got homeless people sleeping on the street, in the parking garage. You're afraid to park your car in there because you're afraid to run over somebody. And there's got to be something to solve that. And I don't know why we can't put our finger on it. It's going to be expensive.
It is going to be expensive, and that's the thing. The city doesn't want to spend the money, and either does the county.
Yeah, not anymore. The county did spend it for years. But
the county is technically only responsible for winter housing, emergency housing. The city kept promising it would build a shelter. It has never done that. That Rise shelter out on Adelphi Street was only temporary, and so it will close in October. So after October of next year, it's going to be really bad.
Well, didn't they get money in the budget? They
finally got money to keep them open till October. They were going to close January 1st.
They were?
Yes.
Wow.
And 35 people would be out.
Thrown out.
Right. on January 1st. So that's why they found money last minute. And, but still, it's only till October. And the city has been dragging its feet. All these years they put Rise up. They gave them the money. Yeah, well, this is just temporary. We'll build something. They never did. So, and they got people pretty much out of the Woodlawn Garage.
Right.
By building that or opening the Rise shelter, but they haven't.
They haven't gone and
they haven't
done
what they promised, which was build something.
But here again,
they should build something.
Oh, they should. And here again, it just shows the inefficiency of this form of government.
Right.
You don't have anybody that can lead. Everybody thinks the mayor runs the city. The mayor does not run the city. And there's nobody that runs the city. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Nobody can make a decision if you get voted down. You got 5 people that vote, and you have no control over anybody else. So,
and most of those politicians on the council are thinking about their department.
Yeah.
Tim Cole how will it affect police or fire? And, BK will now be thinking about, how will it affect my budget for roads and dump trucks? And, that's why they have to get away from it, so people aren't just so focused on their own department and can think of the city as a whole. They don't think of the city as a whole.
People get upset about Trump, and look, I don't think there's any politician that people can agree on 100%.
Right.
He's not a politician. He's a businessman, and I think he's tries to run the country as a business because he doesn't have to deal with politicians because he doesn't care about getting elected or whatever. But besides that, I think it just goes to show how you have to run a city as a business. You have to take care of the people that buy from you, which are the residents.
Right. And
you can't alienate, because you see what happens nationally when you alienate people. Even if you're doing some good, you just lose them. And I think this is what's going to happen in the city. I mean, we're going to lose it. We really are. Everything is going to start being affected. And like you said, they're not doing what they promised to do or what they have the money to do.
Right.
And
now I'm not sure they have the money to do anything.
No.
I mean, like I said, this Tim Cole really wants that new police department. Yes, the police need more room. They need better everything. But there's no money.
No.
They're supposed to build the shelter. I don't know how are they going to do that?
I don't know.
That's another millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah. And you can't keep borrowing because your interest and your credit rating will be affected.
And there's the Lofberry Lake is having problems.
Oh, yeah, our water.
Yeah, so, and they're spending millions on fixing the dam, but that's not even a good solution because they need to find groundwater because, after the drought this year, the water quality went down and, because they have so many tourists, the water was used up
New
quicker.
Building. That we're putting all these homes and developments in, and
that's using more water. And there's a lot of issues in the city, and I don't know how they're going to come up with the money to.
I don't know.
To pay for this stuff.
I know it.
I mean, those are 3 big things: the water, the police department, and the homeless shelter.
Right. Well, going back to, I grew up in Gloversville, which right now is kind of a laughingstock. I mean, the city used to be great. When I was growing up, it was starting to decline a little bit back in the 70s, but it used to be a big city.
Right.
I mean, it used to be a huge city, great industry. And when my father was on the council back in the 70s, and they had, it's funny how Gloversville infrastructure mirrors Saratoga. I think they said it was the same engineer architect that did Saratoga and Gloversville. I mean, if you drive down Main Street in Gloversville, it's a lot of the buildings aren't in great shape because the second and third stories haven't been renovated or that. But you would, I mean, it's all Victorian, all the same way. Their city hall was the same way as this city hall.
Wow.
And the police department was in City Hall on the back side. And it just happened that my father was on for 8 years, and during his time on the council, they built a new fire department building and City Hall, and police department hooked onto City Hall. So it's kind of, well, it was kind of modern back then. Now it's 50 years old, but that was the time to do it. Here they wanted to keep everything historical.
Yeah.
And, you had a 100-and-some-year-old building that is going to fall apart. And it is. And to heat that place is god-awful because the ceilings are taller than the Jolly Green Giant. But anyway, anytime you go to do something today with building, it costs a fortune.
Oh, I know.
And it's going to, like
Lumber
I said...
Lumber is through the roof. And
even getting help. I mean, these contractors, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is.
And also, the city did build the new fire station, which was also really needed.
Right.
And they had money from the federal government to pay for the firefighters.
Right.
But that money's going away too.
Yeah, and they were lucky.
That ran out.
They were lucky they didn't have to buy the property. Naira's giving it to them for $1 a year.
Yes.
Then that was great.
That was huge. I mean, it's not as far east as people wanted it to be, but
it's
still
closer.
It's much closer.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't have to go through the whole city to get over to Saratoga Lake.
Yeah.
So that is, but, there's a lot of expenses to run a city, and,
Yeah,
so Joanne Kiernan is coming in at a stressful time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I wouldn't want to take over a department that's basically it's bringing the city down because, I don't know, everything's going to go up. We know that. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in 2 years, which I don't really like 2-year terms either. I think you need 4 years to get stuff under your belt. But
well, I think if Sarah Berger and Manita Sambi can get some money out of the county, that would be very helpful because the county has money.
Oh, yeah.
They got lots of money. So, because they have been also fiscally conservative.
Sure.
So,
I don't think we have a tax increase, county tax increase this year. We haven't had a tax increase, and they have a surplus every year.
Right. So hopefully they will help, because again, I think the city brings a lot to the county.
Yes.
I mean, that's why there's hotels in Clifton Park and, even up into Warren County. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah, they all benefit from this city.
Yeah, they do. I mean, even people that rent their houses out benefit from the city with the racetrack, and they're putting these bed and breakfasts all over the place, and they make out. There's a lot of things going on in the city that are good, but on the other hand, they kind of take off on their own, and they're not managed well. I mean, we have a house in back of us, which is happening all over. It's not just our neighborhood. I know our mayor has 3 of them in his area, where these people come in, these corporations will come in and buy homes.
Yes.
They'll outbid any family that wants to buy a home.
So sad.
The house behind us, the couple's daughter moved to California and had a baby, and they were in the house for quite a while, and they wanted to go to California to be near the grandkids and that, so they had the real estate agent, sell the house for them, and this young couple with 2 little kids put an offer on the house, and next thing you know, it went up by $10,000, and they upped it again, the couple, and it was overbid by $10,000. Well, they had to drop out. I mean, normal first-time buyers don't have that kind of money.
No, they don't.
So it's an up and down with 3 bedrooms, and they were advertising. They ended up paying probably maybe $100,000 over value, and has a pool, nice backyard, and they were advertising you can have wedding parties there, you can have housing for 18 people, and it was out of sight, and the city couldn't do it. Well, the city ended up, not allowing that, but they don't even have rules on the books now to manage these corporations that come in.
Right.
And so what they do, they inflate the housing market.
Yes.
So that first-time buyers can't afford a home because the average price is now $400,000.
Yeah, so that pushes them way out into the rural areas.
Right.
And also, this is also contributing to the homelessness because rent is so high now.
Yeah.
It just pushes everything up.
Yeah, it skews everything.
Yeah, so this all adds, affordable housing is huge in Saratoga Springs. Of course, you would hope that sellers of their homes wouldn't be tempted to go with a corporation, but hey,
you want your money.
If this is good, that's asking a lot of people.
Right.
Oh, take $100,000 less than you were offered.
Right. Yeah.
And you're retired, and
And where you're going to go if you go to buy a house? If you've owned a house for 30 years or more,
right?
You sell it for the price today. You go to buy a house in the area, you're going to pay double what you're selling your house for.
Yes, I know.
I mean,
and I know Chris Mathieson talked a lot about this at when they were talking about short-term rentals debate. He went to every single meeting telling them our neighborhood is different now.
Yeah.
I don't have neighbors. I have people who come in and spend a weekend, leave garbage on the lawn, make all kinds of noise and ruckus, and then they're gone. And then a new group comes in.
Right.
Same thing.
And that takes police to go over there and try and settle them down. So you've got that.
Please be quiet. And
it's true. That whole thing has gotten and it's all over the country because these places, they don't care how much they spend.
Right. And it's especially huge, in the tourist areas, which is what this community is.
And we talk about the rural areas. Well, that's not even safe anymore because they're building high-end developments there. I wonder what's going to happen. They're building 500 units off of Roland Street.
Right.
And I wonder what's going to happen there. I don't know if any of it's, I don't know if it has to be affordable because that's not city law, is it?
I think that is supposed to be affordable housing, which is good. Hopefully this will help get some people off the street.
Right.
But a lot of the people who probably can get in there are families, which is good. Right now a lot of the homeless families are living in those rundown motels.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I just can't imagine 500 units in that area.
I know.
With the way the traffic is. And I mean, my gosh, you can't go down Geyser Road or Roland there without being in traffic jams.
Yes.
During the day.
Okay. So you're talking about the Milton one. I'm sorry, I was thinking of a different one.
Yeah, that's by
that
the
one's,
airport.
No, they want luxury.
Oh, they want luxury?
They want luxury there, yes. And I'm not sure, the people who live next to the airport now don't like it.
Oh my gosh, no. They cut all those trees down.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, on a national level, we talk about air pollution and climate change and that. But I may be way off base, because I'm not the smartest person in the world.
We can't know everything.
When I was a kid going to school, we were always taught in science that trees take carbon dioxide out and put oxygen in the air. Now that has to help everybody, people, and the atmosphere and that.
Totally.
We're clear cutting trees down for developments all over the country, and I just don't understand. That's got to do something to the climate and to people and stuff. I don't care what they say.
No, it is, and it's happening all over the county because Saratoga is so popular with the world, and it's a destination. They're cutting.
Want to be near.
Yeah, there's a lot of clear cutting, especially near the city. near Saratoga Lake, another hugely popular. I mean, that used to be surrounded by trees, and
Yeah.
it's all coming down.
Yeah. Well, my brother-in-law lives in Boulder, and he said the same thing. He said it's not what it was when he moved out there. He said they've destroyed the landscape. They've
Yeah,
destroyed
another
trees
destination.
another destination place. And California, they're building right into the woods now, and you get a fire, and it knocks
Oh,
the
it's
whole
terrible.
neighborhood out. Well, of course. I mean, we're doing too much.
Yes, we are.
And I know the demand is probably there, but I don't know. We're just
Well, it seems though that we're accommodating people with money, and as opposed to,
yeah,
if you're going to
Middle
take
class.
down,
or
the
and I
middle
don't
class or the lower class,
mean or the lower income
people
class.
who are working
and-
2 or 3 jobs and still can't afford a place.
Well,
to
look
live.
at, I mean, you look at Saratoga, great city, all the stuff we talk about, great businesses, great restaurants, great hotels. The people that work in there can't afford to live anywhere near Saratoga.
Right.
Costs them money to drive here, the cost of gas. And you wonder how they can do it, and you wonder why these places can't get help.
I know.
They can't get help, but it's a domino effect on everything all over the country. I mean, it's not just Saratoga. It's glaring to us because we live here,
Yes,
and you
yes.
cover it. And I mean, you're
Right.
at the meetings all the time and
Yes,
see what's
and,
going on.
Yeah, people are upset with all the construction. I mean, they want to build a huge place over, by the track, the WIT development, and then there's another huge place that they want to build. I'm not sure what street that is. It's off of Nelson and
Yeah.
East Avenue. It's just it's all over the place, and neighbors are always complain,
Yeah,
but they don't always.
when,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yes.
Well, we don't have, what the thing is, and I mean, we're talking so much about government that we don't have representation.
Right,
With 5
again,
commissioners,
it
we have
comes
no
ba-
representation.
Right, that's right, because they're representing their department. They're
Right.
not representing the people.
No, I mean, who do you go to see about a problem when you have to talk about, let's say, accounts? I mean, these people work, or they're retired, and they're not in the office every day.
Right.
And I mean, it's just, and who do you call? You can't get a hold of them half the time. I mean, it's just
Or you could go to the mayor and say, we have this problem on our street, and they'll be like, well, that's DPW, or that,
Right.
you have to go to the public safety office.
Right.
It's not me. I can't do anything
can't do
about
anything.
it.
And I think the mayor is probably the only elected official that is in the office most of the time.
Yes.
It seems like, because it seems like anybody that runs for mayor, John Frank always had a saying that was kind of neat, that to be in office in this form of government, you had to be independently wealthy, you had to be retired, or you have to own your own business.
That is
so that you can get
absolutely
away.
correct.
And-
That's not representative of the people.
No,
Not at all.
no.
So that's, yeah. But I don't see it changing. This commission group that's meeting, they still think the commission form of government is wonderful. And there's a lot of people that spend their own money making sure it stays,
It
a
stays
commission
the same.
form.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
They think it's just jolly, and I don't know why. I still don't understand they're like, well, look at Saratoga. It's
Yeah.
obviously wonderful.
Yeah.
But then I say, well, look at Mechanical. Maybe
Yeah,
it's not
I
so
know.
wonderful.
So do you go to these commission meetings too?
No, but I should. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I need to do a story on that. It's yeah, I don't have much hope for it, and I'm sure it'll be voted down.
Oh, and yeah, I mean, I was on a commission that lost by 10 votes.
Oh, that's
And
right.
I was
Yes.
on
Oh,
that.
that was
Yeah, I've been on
was a
4
close one.
Right. Oh my gosh,
And-
10 votes. We almost, I almost passed out because we lost by 10 votes.
I know.
But yeah, I've been on 4 of them, and one of them was, or two of them were mayor appointed. Valerie Keene appointed me when we brought the signatures. Lynn Goodness and I collected, I don't know, 2,000 some signatures ourselves. Yeah. Oh, we killed ourselves in one summer.
walking.
Yeah. And so Mike at the time, was really looking for a change of government. But unfortunately, he got beat in the election,
Right.
so he dropped it. And then when Valerie came in, she took the signatures and appointed a commission of 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans, and 3 independents. And she got me in. And then we started having problems with, Mike Lenz and his father wrote letters to the editor against changing the form of government because, here it was brought up by a Democrat when Mike was a Republican. And it always lost by 1,000 votes because you had big money behind you,
Yes.
one of the banks who donates thousands and thousands of dollars to campaigns to keep things the way it is, and big business and stuff. But when it lost by 10, that was our shot that year.
Yes,
it really was.
And that year, your committee did a great job with educating people. You went around everywhere to explain it to people.
Yeah.
Because people just don't get it.
No, they don't understand. This is the way they've been brought up from kids to...
Right. They're just, why would we change the form of government? It just seems, like a crazy idea.
Yeah.
But, yeah, your group, led by Bob Turner, really did a great job.
They educated,
Yeah.
And you had professional people on there of different parties that knew the faults of the government and
Right,
what
and
it couldn't do, and understood, and they conveyed that to the people. And it's sad, but I don't know. But this commission, I don't know how he chose. We sat down and had coffee, and he was telling me how he was going to put a commission together. Did I have any ideas who to be on it? And I said, honestly, no, John, but you got to get... I said, some of the people that were on that commission there, that when he lost by 10, were very smart people.
Yeah.
And they knew how to explain it. But then he brings in, and I have nothing against these people whatsoever,
Right.
he brings in Lou Benton, who hasn't been involved in politics since the 80s.
I know.
We're talking about 40 years ago, and
Right.
things have changed,
Yeah.
So I don't know what the answer is, but you should start going so we can get some...
Yes, so we can talk about it again, Rick.
Yeah, talk about it again with some really
Yes, right, to know
knowledge,
exactly
to know
what
what's
they're
going on.
planning on changing, which I don't think it's a whole heck of a lot.
Right, but you're going to stay on that homeless issue. I know that's one
Yes,
thing dear to your heart.
Yes, because I hate to see
like.
people on the street. I
Right.
just do. It's pathetic, and it's not good for the city at all.
No, it isn't. It isn't. It gives... Really, I know people that don't come to Saratoga anymore because of seeing this and the panhandling. They just don't come to Saratoga. And the way
That's
the
a
roads
shame.
are. And it is a shame. I don't want to go somewhere and see all these homeless people laying on the sidewalks and know that there's nothing anybody's doing to help them out.
Right. I know.
It's sad.
I know,
It
it
really
is.
is.
Yeah.
Well, you had a long drive-in this morning, and I
Yes.
did play a Nutcracker song,
Which
for
made me
you.
very happy.
Made you happy.
I cry at that too.
I know. It makes me, I love it so much, and it makes me sad every time I
Yes.
hear it. It's such a beautiful ballet. And
It is.
I did see it twice when I was in high school. I went to Catholic school, and they had an agreement with the Gloversville Public School, and they bussed us up to see the ballet and the orchestra for free because the Catholic school didn't have a music department. So they wanted to expose us to this,
Yes.
which was fantastic.
That is fantastic.
It was, and that's where I learned a little appreciation for both of those. And I don't know, I just love that piece.
Yes.
I play it over.
I love
and
it
over.
too.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for doing that, Rick.
Thanks for being with us.
Oh,
we
no problem.
probably had a million other things to talk about.
No, I didn't really, but there's a lot to talk about, as you know. We'll do it again.
We'll do it again. After my surgery, I'll have you on. I'll have 2 new knees and whatever. But thank you. And I'm gonna